everybody, and welcome to the King and Queen of the Ring review show. A bit different for us this week, normally on a Wednesday night, but we switched over to a Thursday to review the PLE at the weekend and Monday Night Raw. I'm Jonezy, as usual, and my wonderful panel. You recognise their faces, but I'll go through them one by one. They are my bloodline. And we'll start off with Craig. How you doing, mate? Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, you?
Yeah, all good, mate. Not too bad. Got a bit of an headache, but I think it's the weather.
Yeah, maybe.
Or the missus. But yeah, how you doing, Tony? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, good.
Excellent. Tariq, love to see you repping Euro England shirts already.
Thanks. I've got to start a bit early.
Yeah, definitely. And George, you just come off another show. Busy now into this one. I hope you're getting paid double, mate.
Yeah, I think I'm getting 2p, I think. But yeah.
I tell you, mate. Once the golden plaque comes through, we'll get you paid, all right? Don't worry about that.
Yeah, 5p.
Yeah, might be in a few years' time. So at the weekend we had the King and Queen. I've got to remember it's Queen as well. The King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia in Jeddah. Wasn't a bad event, to be honest. To be fair, it was pretty good. It was wrestling, loads of wrestling involved and good matches. Just going to say hello to Mr. Tom in the chat as well. He was here last night. Where have you been for the last 2 weeks? We have a week off and he's giving me some already. Sorry, Mr. Tom. We are back now. We just had a few bits going on in the background, but yeah, we're back and we've got some new bits coming up. We're going to let you know at the end of the show. So we had the King and Queen of the Ring, and we had a pre-show. And on the pre-show, first of all, was the women's tag team match. I didn't actually get a chance to see it because I was finishing work late. Tariq, let's kick things off. We'll go over to you. Did you see the match and how was it?
Yeah, I saw the match. I think it was it's like a typical pre-show match where a little bit offense for the heels, but it was more Bianca's knee selling that a little bit, like she's still a bit hurt and everything. And to get, I think Belair and Cargill had a brand new finishing move, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
So just to showpiece that, I was quite good. And it's not really a match that would be in for the main event, well, the main PLE. So it's a good feel-good before the main thing starts.
Mm. It was a late edition, wasn't it, Craig? Like, it got announced pretty much straight after was it the SmackDown?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Literally a day before the actual event. Was you surprised it was on the pre-show and not in the main event? The main show?
Yeah, a little bit. I thought they might have just added it on as an extra and the kickoff show just be the panel, go backwards and forwards and talking and stuff. But it set the tone for the rest of the night, I guess. It was that new finisher as well. I mean, we've spoken about how we might think they might split up and have a little bit of a feud. Mm. But with that new finisher, now does that set them up having a little bit maybe of a title run for a little while? And then maybe eventually at some point SummerSlam, maybe a bit past that, build into them splitting up. But yeah, they look good. I'm a fan of the new finisher as well.
Cool. And George, where do you see the next challenges coming from? If you could see a team challenging them maybe at Clash of the Castle, do you think it could be the Hour of Fire, is it? And I can't remember her other name. She's literally gone off the top of my head. Isla Dawn. They could get a chance?
Yeah, to be fair, I was wondering how many times you'd get C into a sentence with me. But yeah, I wouldn't say there's like loads of like people that could compete against them, but I think I was saying I was surprised. I thought that might have been the first match on King and Queen of the Ring instead of the pre-show, but and I wasn't sure if that. I don't know if they've got like a rematch that's like invoked. I'm not sure, but yeah, probably them to say because are they just? Is it just for SmackDown or are they on both shows?
I don't know. It's the kind of it's like the titles they can go between both.
So maybe so maybe someone from NXT might challenge them or even on Raw.
Yeah, could be. Tony, do you see them two having a long run? Because eventually we're going to want as fans to see them two face off. Is it a case of when rather than if?
Yeah, I think like everyone's just said, I think that they're doing really well. Good work between them all, and they're working well as a team. But I think it's probably going to happen. Probably you're looking probably Survivor Series if they're going to try and keep it a long run. But then maybe just after SummerSlam, maybe I reckon. I reckon just after SummerSlam. So what's the pay-per-view in September?
I
Can't
don't know.
remember off the top of my head. Well, I think they're in America again, so they're not over here. So they're in America, but somewhere, I reckon somewhere after SummerSlam, I can see them turning on each other, and I think that would really probably set it right up to maybe Rumble, and then something in the Rumble maybe. But yeah, I can see them having a reign for a couple of months. Can't see it any longer than that, to be honest.
Cool. And then we went into the Becky versus Liv match. Pretty good match, to be fair. The 8K camera was back.
No, that was
It's
brilliant.
always good when it's there at the beginning. It's always good seeing Liv in 8K. But yeah, we had Dom, didn't we? He come down, distract Becky. We slid the chair in the ring, and he eventually cost Becky the title, didn't he? Craig, I'll go over to you first. What was your thoughts and feelings? Did the right person win?
For me, yeah. I thought Dom would get involved somewhat, and I'm still. Was it planned? Was it an accident? Like they tried to fob it off as an accident, you know, but I just think there's more to it than that. It was a good match. I wanted Liv to win. Both looked good. I was quite surprised. Obviously, we're going to get to Raw, but with the rematch clause thing, you know, I thought the whole point was you go to the back of the line. So I was a bit miffed at that, but we'll get into that, I imagine. But yeah, it was good. I wanted Liv to win. I like Liv. I just thought now would be the good time for her to do it. Set up this, you know, we know it's going to happen. Liv and Rhea when Rhea comes back. Depending on when that is, Liv could now have a bit of a long reign for a little bit, couple of months maybe. When SummerSlam, couple of months.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's if Rhea's back by then. I mean, I don't know the full extent. Is she due to be back by then? I don't. I've no idea. But
she's not in any sort of sling, is she, or anything? So she's kind of
no. But I think that's where they're heading, especially with this whole thing between her and Dom. I think they're setting that up quite nicely.
Yeah, and Tariq, I'll go over to you with. I know we're going to touch on Raw in a little bit, but with regards to Becky, it's been widely reported that her contract is up, and she hasn't renewed. But she hasn't said she's going anywhere, but she's taking a hiatus. It's a tough one, isn't it? Do you eventually see her re-signing when she's had a break, or could this be her focusing on family? Because she has been quoted as saying that she wants to add to the family as well.
Yeah, I think that I originally thought maybe it's time where she's got nothing left to prove, and it's time where she just walk away and be a mum type thing. But I don't know. I think there's still a bit left for her, so it might be a good few months where she has a rest, see what happens. I think it's one of them ones where she won't sign for anyone else. It'll be if she has another baby, fine. If not, she'll probably come back. So they've sort of left that in her court to decide what she wants to do.
Else, surely.
Yeah, I can't see her playing there. It'll be interesting. We've said that before, haven't we? And people have turned over to AEW and
didn't she put on because it's Seth's birthday, isn't it?
Yeah.
She puts and at the end she put I'm coming home.
Yeah.
So I think the intention is she's now going to have a much deserved break.
Yeah.
It just depends. It seems to be, you know, how long.
Yeah. Yeah, she's in like say she's, you know, she kind of deserves it. You know, she was supposed to have a break after Mania, weren't she? And she deliberately delayed that so she could have this little feud with Liv. So let her have a rest and come back stronger. It'll be interesting to see when she does come back, if she comes back with Seth at the Rumble, maybe. That's the rumours I'm hearing, but we shall wait and see. We then went on to the triple threat match. It was Gable, sorry.
Gable. Did what I did.
It was
I told you it's easy to do it.
Zayn, and big Bronson Reed. And Otis, he's been a bit gaslighted, isn't he, by old Gable? And he kind of snapped a little bit. Like I say, we'll get onto Raw, but he inadvertently clotheslined Gable, which cost him the match. And we saw Zayn pick up the win. George, was that the eventual winner you wanted to see? Or I don't know. I don't want to say is Sami Zayn a boring champion, but it's just, to me, I'll put it this way. Since Gunther's dropped the title, it's kind of lost a bit of
appeal
at the Intercontinental title. I don't know if you agree, mate. You might have a different view, but what's your thoughts?
No, I agree. I kind of wanted me to lose, not because I dislike Sammy, but just wanted it to have a bit more about it. Like say, since the lot gone a bit stale again, so I wouldn't have mind seeing Gable win. To be fair, like I think he's doing really well with the heel. He reminds me of like how Kurt Angle used to be like years ago. So I wouldn't mind if Bronson Reed winning it.
Yeah.
But I was kind of hoping that Sammy would. I was kind of hoping that Sammy would have got cost by someone like a bit like Otis and or anyone else from the Alpha Academy, and then Gable went on a bit of a run. I do think he'll win it. I just think it's a moment of time, or I don't know. Could there be a thing that Otis gets involved again? I know we'll come to Raw, but yeah, I don't see Sammy keeping it that long, because if the rumours are true, I don't see how him staying as champion later down the line works in the storyline that they might put him in. So,
yeah. And Tony, what was your thoughts on the match?
I think, like everyone said, I said the match was a pretty decent match. I think the right person won. I think, obviously, in terms of how it's going, obviously the news come out today about Chad Gable and his contract.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously he's still got to sign his new contract. So is it something where he's going to win it sooner or later to try and sweeten his new deal or something like that? But then obviously I think he will eventually win it, and then I think Otis will kind of help him win it, and then he'll think, oh, I did this, I shouldn't have done this. Then he's going to be in two minds, and I can see them two having a big match between them at some point. So yeah, I agree with the winner, and I think it was a good match.
Cool.
I saw someone pointed out that they're calling it sort of the Bloodline 2.0, because it's very similar to how Roman treated Sammy.
Yeah.
When Jay stopped Solo from hitting Sammy, Maxine did that. Obviously, we'll get to that. That it's very similar, and it's going to end with Otis very much turning on Chad, definitely.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Sammy's made reference, hasn't he, that he's been through this before. So
yeah,
you can see they're definitely going down them routes of it being like a Bloodline-esque story.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we went on to the women's Queen of the Ring match, the finals, which was probably the shock of the night. Like I say, only one person, I think, pretty much had Nia winning it. But yeah, it was, I don't know, it was a strange one, weren't it? It was a brutal, what does she call it? An annihilator, I think it is, her finishing maneuver. Basically, the bonsai drop Yokozuna used to do.
I mean, that was one of the worst ones I think I've ever seen.
She literally... Nia Jax is known for botching, isn't she? And hurting people. So, and Lyra did look like she took a beating and then she was hurt. But like I say, we'll get to Raw. I know we jump ahead quite a bit, but you can't help it. But I'll go to Tariq. I'll go to you first. I'll go to you all, actually. Was it the right person? Are they gambling now on Nia Jax?
I predicted Nia Jax in the predictions because I think that Lyra is that she don't connect really just yet. I think it's that brand new babyface type thing. But Nia Jax being that badass heel that she's moving on SmackDown, they needed her to win it, so she's got that queen status. Sort of like when Mabel won it in the 90s and became King Mabel, and it became on a heel run. So it'd be something along them lines. And I think that it'd be worth it for her to milk the Queen thing up until SummerSlam.
Yeah, could be. She's going to get a title shot now, isn't it, against Bayley Craig? Do you see her eventually getting the push and taking the title, maybe?
I don't know. I mean, the King of the Ring, yeah, fine, win that and whatnot. But is that where they just kind of do it for now? They don't, because I can't see Bailey dropping it anytime soon.
Mm.
I know SummerSlam's a bit, a while, a couple of months. Is it August?
Yeah.
Yeah. So never say never because you don't know. But I just don't see her winning it. To be fair, I just think Bailey with the storyline that they did and her winning it, I can't see her dropping it that soon. I know it's a couple of months away, but me personally, no, I don't see. I think they've given her that slight push of winning Queen of the Ring. Be interesting to see what they do with her now, building it up for SummerSlam, and then potentially after SummerSlam, when, in my opinion, she won't win it. It'd be interesting to see where they go from there.
Cool. And Tony, what's your thoughts on, well, first of all, the match? And Lyra, where does she go from here? Does she push on now to maybe Money in the Bank, potentially in that match, or do you see something a bit sooner for her?
No, I can see her going in Money in the Bank. I think she'll be pretty decent in a match. She's a good wrestler. She's got a good charisma about her. I think Becky Lynch over the last couple of weeks has given her a lot of rubs, a lot of good things over the last couple of weeks. She's been involved with Liv Morgan as well in part of that storyline as well, backstage bits. In terms of Nia Jax, I mean, I've been quite critical of her over the last couple of weeks. I'm not her biggest fan, but she kind of won me over at the Queen of the Ring. I think she showed a different side. I think she's starting to prove to a lot of people that she's actually better than we give her credit for.
Mm.
I think Triple H and the WWE have obviously put a lot of stock in her, bringing her back, because they could have just left her and not brought her back. They've seen something in her. They've seen a place for her, and I think, like Craig said a minute ago, that she will milk this Queen of the Ring. She'd probably change her name to Queen Nia. Would not surprise me. So yeah, no, I enjoyed the match, to be honest. So yeah, it was pretty much she deserved to win it.
Yeah. And George, I'll go to you. Mr. Thomas put a comment in here saying that Lyra being Becky's mate will do more harm than good. Do you think that's something that could be true? She needs to kind of find her own way and her own path rather than, being Becky's friend.
Yeah and no. Like, obviously, I think she needs to find her own identity and have her own thing about her. I think can't remember who said it, so forgive me. Like, with Money in the Bank, I think she'll definitely be a big part of that. I wouldn't even back against her not winning it. So I do like Lyra quite a bit. So, and I thought she'd done all right. I think with being Becky's mate has helped her recently, like, to get her the stock that she's got now. But I think ultimately she will find her own path. I can try not to say story because I've seen story. So and with Nia, as you all know, I normally find that it's just boring about Nia. But yeah, she saw a different side to her on the weekend, so she'll definitely be like. I'm waiting for tomorrow night. Queen Nia opening the show. I think
we can all look forward to her coronation tomorrow night. Should be good. Solo might be somewhere in a hoodie. We then went on to the match of the night, the men's King of the Ring final match, which was Gunther versus Orton. I mean, what a match! It was brutal. Gunther lit up Orton's chest like a Christmas ham. It was everything we wanted, wasn't it, Craig? I think, at the end, the only thing that got me was the ending, which was messy, and obviously Triple H addressed it. But if it didn't have that, it was a 10 out of 10 match for me.
Oh, definitely. I think that knocked it down to a 9 for me. I thought it was a really, really good match. It was one of those ones that, okay, we all predicted I'll win, but we I think even if a prediction would have let us down, we were happy with the result in a way. I know it was a botch, but take that bit away. Whoever won it was that damn good. You didn't really care. But the botch thing, Triple H talked about it, but then on Raw, I know we're going to get to that, it was completely ignored. Like when they spoke about it, there was not, Triple H was like, oh, Gunther will want to prove that he can beat, but there was no mention of that, and he just was like, oh, I'm the king of the ring, that's it, see you at SummerSlam. Like, they kind of ignored it a little bit, so I'm a bit unsure what's actually going on there. Is that it and he's that, or are they actually going to have a rematch? And
well, I think on Raw, when we get to Raw, Priest touched on it a bit, saying that you didn't even win it. You should apologise to Randy Orton. I think they're just leaving it at that. But
yeah, maybe
you never know. They could do something along the lines. Tony, I'll go to you next with Randy Orton. I'm stuck with Randy. Him and AJ for me at the moment. We saw a little promo with AJ as well, which we'll touch on in a minute. But when he had a word with Nick Aldis about where does he go from here, I think Randy's a bit like that. Where do you see Randy's rest of the year?
Again, I think he'll be a shoo-in to be a Money in the Bank. Again, is he going to be? I don't know. I literally don't know. I'm the same as you. Where would he go? He can't go for the Intercontinental title because I think he's that level above it. And since he's come back, he's been literally amazing. So I think Money in the Bank, yeah, I think probably potentially could win Money in the Bank. And that could lead on to him cashing in. And that would be his last big run, I suppose, I'd imagine. But that could potentially be the rest of his year. But I don't know what anyone else thinks. But
yeah, I mean, Tariq, I'll go to you. I'm a bit annoyed because I wanted to see Cody and Randy legacy, that kind of match for the title. I don't think Gunther needed it as much as Randy needed it. I don't know if you agree or, I'd like to hear your thoughts, but I feel Gunther could have gone for the world title through his own sort of route. He was up there anyway. What was your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think the exact same. I was looking forward to that legacy title match at SummerSlam. I thought that would have been a good main event for the summer. It would have been a feel-good match between the two friends, and then at the end, the hug with the respect and the pyros and everything and confetti. Yeah. That would have been fantastic, which I think they can still go to because Cody really hasn't got a challenger for SummerSlam. So they can get there. But it would have been good if Orton would have won. I think with the match, with Orton, all it is a quick RKO that can change the complexion of any match. So Gunther could have won the match. Well, we could have had a 20-minute match where he's dominated and an RKO out of nowhere could have won it. And then the build-up from now up until SummerSlam for them two would have been fantastic. I think with Gunther, they sort of went towards him because they were thinking that if he's lost his title a couple of weeks ago, then he's lost King of the Ring, even though he said he was going to win it. It would have knocked his stock down a little bit. So I can see why they went with Gunther, but Orton would have been fantastic.
Yeah. No, and Mr. Tom saying what's to say we don't still see that. I'm just saying, yeah, we still could, but I think it would have done wonders for Randy going into that title match if he was, winning King of the Ring. It just would have built him up a bit better. George, I'll go to you with this next question. We were talking about it in the WhatsApp group earlier in the week. Do you feel Gunther needs a manager? I mean, people were saying Lana because she's now not with AEW. There's this Kiana James is lurking around as well on Raw. Would you give Gunther a manager, or do you think Ludwig Kaiser's right for him?
Been a bit of both, really. I think Kaiser is right for him, but he seems to be. I'm doing what you do now, running to Raw. He seems a bit occupied with other people, so I'm not. I would like to see him have a manager. Do I think Lana? No, I'm not. I'm not on that for me personally. But Kiana James, I'd like to see that. I think that could be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's just Lana. I just associate it with Rusev, to be fair.
Yeah.
So I think we all would like to see Lana back, but in that, I'm just not so sure, because I think there's enough. I think there's other people that could probably fit that bill if we was going to go down that route.
Mm.
I do agree. Like with Gunter, like I feel like he had to win King of the Ring. I didn't really want him to, and that's nothing on Gunter. I just more want to see Randy versus Cody.
Mm.
I want to actually see Cody defend against someone worthwhile, instead of like he beating up YouTubers. But with Gunter, it's interesting because with Gunter, like, obviously he's going to be facing the champion at SummerSlam, isn't he? But the Priest is defending against Drew, isn't he? For
Yeah.
that. So, but I think a certain someone might have something to say about that. But with manager wise, I'm not sure. Like, it's not necessarily that it's got to be a woman that does it either, though, does it? Like,
Yeah.
Like, you never know, Ricardo might turn back up.
Imagine him with Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Heyman, someone like that, and then so you never know. Stranger things have happened. I did laugh at. I think it was Wade Barrett said that Paul Heyman is like 10 Hag.
That was great. Yeah, that was brilliant. And then so then we went on to our, as George mentioned, our main event, the YouTuber versus. But the thing is now, that's a bit disrespectful. I think he's earned his stripes now. He's definitely taking it seriously. I mean, him and Michael Cole seem to have this thing going on as well, which is interesting. Michael Cole's been quite a bit involved with wrestlers of late, which is great. I just hope he don't go back in that box when he was stuck in there for safety. But I've got to say, the highlight of the night had to be the 360 frog splash. And we saw text messages from Logan Paul to WWE Creative asking them to do it. It was all his idea, sort of thing. So you can see he's there for the business, 100%. And we had the brass knucks. I won't go too much into it because we all quickly saw it. But then we had the brass knucks, and then the vertebrae from Cody Rhodes, and then he ran into it. We all knew Cody was going to win. I think everyone would have betted their mums, dads, and their dogs on it. But Craig, did it live up to a hype for you, the match?
I mean, it wasn't up there with Gunther and Randy. Even if we take the mark off and knock it down to a 9, I don't think 7.5, maybe an 8 out of 10. I think the reason that is for that 360 frogs, it just looked class. I don't know. It was good, but I didn't, when it finished, think, wow, that was one of the best matches I've ever seen. We knew. I think that was more because we knew who was going to win. We knew the outcome. Not saying we're Mystic Megs or whatever, but I think it was pretty obvious. But yeah, I definitely think the frog splash, the camera work, definitely hyped it up more than what it was beforehand.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely.
And I was surprised it was the main event, to be fair. I know Cody's the champion and stuff like that, but I thought the King of the Ring match would have been the main event. And I think it kind of killed the show having that as the end match. I don't know if you agree. I know you're a big Cody fan.
Yeah, I did agree. I thought with because they had the King and the Queen matches together, it sort of was a bit. So I don't know. I don't like it. I think what they should have done is, because that would have been, as Seamus calls, a banger. They should have had that at the end. I mean, with Cody, like it said, these challenges aren't really incredible at the moment. You don't think he's going to lose it, so it loses the suspense. I think it was more catering to the Saudi fans, having that fun sort of main event with the Saudi ring announcer and having Logan Paul's good with the Saudi people, so getting him in there it would have been for them. It's better for them, so that's why I see why they did it. But yeah, the main King of the Ring match would have been ideal for the main event compared to this one. This one probably either opening the show or towards the middle because you didn't expect any suspense to it.
Another thing going back to like as soon as they announced the Saudi comedian geezer as the commentator, the guest, you knew he was getting involved.
Yeah.
And that just kind of ruined it as well because you were like, he's definitely there's no way they've just brought him out to be a guest announcer at the beginning. He's hanging about, he's getting involved somehow. And I just think that little bit as well was just didn't need it. It was catering because of where it was and who he was. Yeah.
We're kind of lucky, to be fair, with the Saudis. They probably wanted a Goldberg versus Undertaker main event. But yeah, I wonder what the Japanese audience made of Logan Paul v. Cody. Yeah, good shout, Mr. Tom. But yeah, I mean, Tony, for you, Cody, he's got to fight someone. For me, to be a credible champion, and I'm not denying he is, and he beat Reigns, didn't he? To much of your delights.
With milk.
Yeah. He needs to fight someone, like, who are we talking about here? The likes of maybe someone like Strowman, someone bigger than him, someone who's got a bit of height, maybe even Dragunov. Do you know what I mean? Someone who's got a bit about him. I'm not saying Logan Paul hasn't. I'm not saying AJ Styles hasn't. But someone who's on an up rather than a downward. Logan Paul's not on a downward decline, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, again, like you guys just said, that he needs someone there to bring him up that level where he's not going to fight. I don't think there's going to be anyone until Roman comes back. I literally don't think there's going to be anyone unless there's someone that they could bring. Obviously, they're doing a few bits with other organisations over the next couple of months. Unless they bring someone in and do something, but I can't see anyone else. But
I'm
Roman.
half expecting his next title defence to be against Dragon Lee. Like he seems to be going sort of backwards. Like step it up a bit. Like give the audience that feeling of, oh shit, like he could lose it. Like,
but I think, like you said earlier, Randy Orton could be a perfect one. The story's there.
When's Elimination Chamber?
That's not till January next year.
It's just been
Yeah.
So either, like you say, Money in the Bank, someone like Randy winning that, or like an Elimination Chamber #1 contenders match. Like, get the big boys in there, get them all going for it. Like, get him someone decent to compete. Like, because at the moment, SummerSlam, surely he's going to be defending that at SummerSlam, and at the moment, like.
Are they going to bring back someone like, I don't know, one night only, an ex-wrestler that wrestled with a big name like Cena, or
just to fill that gap?
I think possibly that's probably all they're going to do until the Roman comes back and takes his belt.
George, I have a theory. I actually reckon it'd be Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt group that go for Cody Rhodes. I mean, he's got nothing, has he? He's got nothing at Clash. He's got nothing at SummerSlam. I think if there's a perfect time to bring them in with Bo Dallas and this group, go for Cody tomorrow night. Let's do it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Don't get Tony excited.
Let's get our legs on that. Let's storm the ring and do it.
What have you done?
Yeah,
Um,
there's only 5 of us here, but we can storm the ring.
I think that's a good idea because we all know that Bliss ain't part of the White Six. That's fine. I don't think she is it. So, but yeah,
Tony's crying.
Why not? I did laugh when we said about other companies. I don't think MJF is going to face Cody now. So, I did like someone who actually put on Twitter and said, "Wouldn't it be funny if Uncle Howdy was just MJF with the devil mask?" That would have been funny. But yeah, I just think Cody's got to face someone like these wrestlers are decent, but they're not at the level that Cody, like Craig said. You're thinking, all the time you're thinking, Cody's going to win. It's boring.
Yeah.
I don't really know who he could face, apart from like obviously hopefully when Roman comes back sooner rather than later.
Do you know what?
I think.
It could be one person.
Oh no.
Man, he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
That's stupid.
As soon as you said,
We
I
thought-
knew.
With all the TNA stuff going on, you know, I don't know if you guys
Jesus.
catch NXT. You never know. Clash at the Castle, Joe Hendry, Cody Rhodes.
Mate, that sums up there with Baby Shark for me. I was
That'd
saying
be a fantastic swap. AJ Styles going back to TNA and Joe
Yeah.
Hendry coming over.
Yeah.
I think if he's going to turn up, he turns up in Scotland, and so
Yeah.
I was saying to Craig like, yeah, Joe. I'm not Joe Hendry. I've fallen off of that boat now. I just every time I turn TNA on just to watch it, it's him. It's everywhere. One Shane McMahon. Why not? Cody didn't show back in time.
You never know.
Going back,
Owens' turn.
Yeah.
Another one. That'd be a good fight against them two for a bit.
Yeah.
So, Craig, did you want to?
yeah, sorry, going back to the Uncle Howdy fit, like it in a way it does make, because Cody's got nothing like at the moment with Clash at the Castle and SummerSlam. But do you think they need to go after someone with a belt? Like, you know, are they going after him because they want the title, or are they just going after him because they're going? I think they could just go after somebody else. It doesn't have to be a champion. It doesn't have to be for a belt. I don't think they stick a title on Uncle Howdy or whatever character it is that. But if Bo comes back as himself and as like, I just don't think they stick a title on him straight away. I don't think they need to. They can tell a storyline. They can set up rivalries and whatever, and kind of build to that. I think, but
Shane.
we'll see.
Yeah. The Shane Bron Breaker's on Raw for me.
Yeah.
I can see him going back to. I saw a few things that they could look to trade, like because Adam Pearce can't control him. Adam Pearce has had enough with him. There could potentially be a trade where, you know, someone. But who comes from SmackDown? I mean, I saw rumours of Randy, but if he comes to that kind of messes up Cody and him, which you'd like to think at some point would happen. But who else do you know? There's talks of LA Knight maybe, but
Yeah, I'm not saying that Bron Breaker would beat Cody, but I just think that would be quite a good.
Yeah.
that would be much better than some of the ones he's had. Yeah, definitely.
I would have said done so many bad stuff. You could have had the Beast, but yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk about him yet? Or
I think we are. I think, yeah.
When
They
MJF,
mentioned him. They mentioned him on TV last week.
Yeah. Interesting. So yeah, that was King and Queen of the Ring. Not a bad event in all, to be fair. Some great wrestling matches. I will give it a 9 out of 10. Craig, I'll go over to you.
yeah. I was going to go with a half, but I know you don't like them, so yeah, I'll go 9.
9. Tony?
Yeah, I mean, 9 again for me. I think there was some good bits, really good bits. There was some good bits and some really good bits. So I think that 9 out of 10 for me.
Cool. Tariq?
Same, I'd give it 9. For a Saudi one, it was quite good.
Yeah, it was. And George?
9.75.
9.75. Thanks for your 0.5s.
So just one thing, I think that this Saudi event, the crowd seemed a bit more livelier than normal.
Yeah.
Was it just me, or
I think it's
seemed-
because of. I think Backlash has set something off now. I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
And you see the American audiences trying to do it, but it's just not working because they're not used to it. So I think when we see Clash at the Castle and Clash at Berlin, I think they'll be exactly the same.
Yeah, 100%. So I just wanted to add that bit.
That's fine. That's cool. So we switch over to Raw now, and we kicked things off with Ludwig Kaiser in the ring, and he welcomed King Gunther to the ring, and he just talked about how he was going to face Damien. at SummerSlam, but we were interrupted with Drew, who reminded Damien really that you should focus on me because he will be at Clash of the Castle and to make sure he brings his wife, which was pretty interesting. So, but yeah, it was an interesting comment. It's setting it up to be a good match at Clash of the Castle. I'm looking forward to that. What was your guys' thoughts on this segment? I'll go to you, Craig, first.
Firstly, whenever I see him in that jacket, all I see is a Chelsea badge. That's all I see, and I just genuinely, dislike him. As soon as I see that, I just think he's got a Chelsea jacket on. I think Drew's kind of got a point. It's at the moment he's feeling sort of left out. He's feeling like he's not appreciated. You've got Priest coming out and one-to-one face-off with Gunther talking about SummerSlam when you've literally got Clash at the Castle round the corner against Drew. And it's kind of like the same thing of Seth. Seth wasn't focused on Drew, and look what happened. Could we see a repeat of that? Or do we see CM Punk getting involved again, which I then think sets up. And again, we talk about predictability, and okay, with Cody, it's a little bit boring, but with this, even though it's predictable, you're excited to see where it goes, like how CM Punk's going to mess with him, how he's going to cost him that match at Clash at the Castle, and then how the way it sets it up for SummerSlam, because I think that's definitely the way that's going, isn't it? I can't see that match at SummerSlam being for the World Heavyweight title. I can't. You never know, but I think CM Punk costs Drew, but then again, you've got the whole thing of Priest just doesn't seem to be that phased by Drew at the minute. And could that come back to cost him like it did with Seth?
Yeah. And I know Mr. Tom mentioned it there, Tariq. Starting off Raw with 3 heels in the ring is a bit of a strange one, wasn't it? If you don't really see it, you normally see the babyface champion, and he gets interrupted. What was your thoughts on it? Is the right idea? Are they going to try and switch Damien maybe? I don't know. He didn't talk like a heel, did he?
No, he just seems like that sort of, not like a tweener, but I think it's more where he's the one who is going to be the badass champion for a while. And he doesn't need to be like the nasty Judgment Day guy sort of heel type. It's more, I think it'll come to it later on, but he's like the enforcer, the one who fixes their crap sort of thing. The one, I don't want to be with you, but I have to fix all your rubbish. But I think it was good having all the heels in, but because what it is, all 3 heels are the sort of cool heels that the fans love. So it's not like a pest heel. And you can sort of like, when you was watching it, you thought any one of them 3 could be world champ for a while. So it was good to see. And it's good that they've established a title picture for the next 2 PLEs or just a bit further.
Yeah.
But talking about CM Punk costing Drew at Clash of the Castle, that will probably send Drew up some sort of way which he would go proper psycho. Which would be funny.
He would actually lose his shit, wouldn't he? He was mad. And then Tony, we went into the first match. We had Braun versus JD. Carlito come down to try and help. I don't know what Carlito's doing at the moment. But yeah, it all backfired. And then we kind of got something that I didn't want to see, and that was Braun Strowman basically be the comedy for the night. With him chasing JD McDonough through the whole arena, the whole night. And I know eventually come back round to the main event, which we'll get onto. But Braun, a lot of people saying he's back, he's growing his hair, he's growing his beard. I don't think he's going to be part of the Wyatt Six. What's your thoughts on what they're doing with him? They've brought him back, and they've just made him kind of like a comedy guy.
We spoke about it before, didn't we? All this.
Yeah, we said that's what we didn't want to see, and it's happened, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think they've done this on purpose. So then, when he does join Bo Dallas, Eric Rowan, and the others that are thing, I think they're the ones that are gonna wake him up and realise what he's doing, and then turn him into the animal, the killer that he was before.
Mm.
Instead of being the comedian, the funny, the running around with the New Day and running around with this and that. And it was probably the longest segment part of Raw that I've seen in a long time. It was just they were just chasing each other around all evening. But I think it was crazy and it was silly, but it was that slapstick comedy that we used to have when the previous people were there, and it just reminded me so much of it. That not so much that Triple H hasn't done that much.
Yeah.
He's more serious, more storytelling. None of this. I mean, I get the whole idea of why it happened and it eventually costed whatever it did and so on and so on. But yeah, I think he needs a wake up call, to be honest. I think he's got potential, but the guy could barely run. No disrespect, but I think Craig could probably run faster than him with his dodgy knee.
I'm glad you ended that with because of the knee.
But I just hope we don't go down the routes of the Big Show getting diarrhea from Eddie Guerrero's burrito sort of style.
It's like they just brought him back because they didn't want him going elsewhere.
Yeah,
and they just if he is joining the Wyatt Six, whatever they decide to call it,
With
fair play. They're just doing what they're doing for the time being. But if he doesn't, what was the point? Like, get him doing something. Put him in like a pit or something. Like, they just don't really know what to do with him. Doing little backstage shots of him chatting to the Creed brothers or whoever it is he's chatting to and laughing and joking with them. It's like, this geezer's an absolute unit, coke machine with legs, and you've got him doing comedy bits. Like,
it's
sort it out.
Don't understand it. And then George, we went on to another match. We had Ricochet versus Dragunov. Pretty good match, in fact, until Braun Breaker decided to break Ricochet in half, much to Samantha Evans screaming at ringside. I don't know if you guys picked up, but you could hear her proper screaming. What's your thoughts on Braun Breaker, George, and what they can do with him and this whole situation he's got going on with Adam Pearce?
I think it's a bit similar to Strowman. I think there's so much they can do with Braun Breaker. Like, I wouldn't want to get a whack off of him. But yeah, I think there's some really good matches we could have. I'd like to see Braun Breaker against Dragunov. Obviously, broke Ricochet, and I think he technically ricocheted Ricochet off the floor. So yeah, it was. I actually like Braun Breaker. I do agree with Craig though. I think it's gonna, like with the Adam Pearce thing, I think Braun Breaker might get traded for someone, so he'll go back to SmackDown. But yeah, I'd like to see Braun Breaker maybe compete for the. I wouldn't mind seeing him against Sami Zayn in like that sort of title picture. But obviously, I know he's not going to do that at the moment because of Chad Gable and stuff. But maybe down the line.
Yeah, could be. Could be. And then we moved on to a segment which was very strange. It was the Miz and R-Truth selling ice cream. And the Miz was wondering if R-Truth's favourite flavour is strawberry. Yeah, we got it right, strawberry. There's a lot of things going on at the moment. I'm going to talk about a bit about backstage segments. We had Sonya Deville talking to Maxine Dupree in the background of that. We had JD talking to Liv earlier in the night when Strowman was shaking. They're doing a lot of that where you have to really watch what's going on in the background.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good, to be fair, because it keeps you watching, doesn't it, rather than fast forwarding through segments, which we've probably been known to do. But yeah, it was a strange one. And then we had Karrion Kross speak to Xavier Woods, trying to get in his head a bit there, see where that's going. Craig, what's your thoughts on that?
It's happening, mate. And I'll tell you what, I can't wait for it. I like the New Day, but it's just getting boring. Like, mix it up a little bit. Let one go off, a bit like with the Usos. I mean, okay, the Usos didn't get boring, but they'd been around for a while. They both needed that singles push. I'm not saying Kofi and Xavier might have the same push as Jay and Jimmy, but split them up. Let's see what they can do. Let's get them involved. One of them in maybe another faction or whatever. I'm all for it, and I think it's happening. I think Xavier's, whether he screws Kofi over or he just leaves and joins Carrion or whatever, I can see it happening. I genuinely can see it happening. I think they're setting it in place, getting the wheels in motion, and I think something's. Aren't they? They've got a match on Raw, haven't they?
Yeah, got AOP.
Yeah. I think something's happening there.
Yeah,
which will further, plant the seed.
Cool. We then went into, speaking of AOP, they went into a match against the Creed brothers, and AOP picked up the win, looking really strong. We then went into a segment with Sheamus come out, looking like a man who's in a midlife crisis. He looked like I don't know what he looked like, the guy who turns up at the wedding who's half dressed. But yeah, he was there talking, and he wanted to find Kaiser, and Kaiser, sneak attacked him backstage, and that's going to set up their match for next week, which is actually a match I'm quite looking forward to. I don't know about you guys. I'll go to you, Tariq. Seems like Kaiser's getting a bit of a push, and you know what? To be fair, if anybody was to help him, it would be Sheamus in the ring.
Yeah, I think he's a good wrestler, but because he's with Gunther, his wrestling skills are sort of pushed to the background. You don't realize how good he is because of how good Gunther is. So this will get him to the front where they'll be like, right, you can showcase your brawling technique, and having a brawling match, you've got to have it against Sheamus because it's going to be one of the ones where they beat the hell out of each other. And it could possibly lead to seeds where Kaiser moves away from Gunther and starts his own sort of run, which could lead to like mid-card titles and so on in the future. But the thinking, let's get him out there so people are actually seeing how good he is.
Yeah,
right now.
Ludwig Kaiser's winning at life as long as he's with Tiffany, mate.
Yeah.
So he's doing everything right at the moment. But yeah, no, I'd be interested to see him. He's actually a good wrestler, to be fair. Like I saw a bit of his work in NXT before he even joined Imperium. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. That'd be a good match, I reckon. We then went into another match. We had Lyra Valkyria, who was taped up after her insides were squashed by Nia Jax. She was fighting Kairi Sane, and Lyra gets the win after a roll-up. And then we saw Io Sky, didn't we, backstage, and she battered the hell out of the IKEA flat back furniture. She literally smashed that table in half.
I understood every word, but I can't repeat what she said because
it's crazy. I'll go to you, Tony. Could this be the end of Damage Control? Io Sky is looking a bit like she don't need him anymore. I don't think she needs him. Asuka's AWOL at the moment. We don't know what's happening with her. There hasn't been no reports of an injury, so I don't know what's going on with Asuka. Where do you think this is heading?
Yeah, I think they will break up. I think they've been together since Royal Rumble? About 2 years ago, maybe. 2.5 years ago, maybe. I think it will break up. Like you said, the seeds have already been set. I think after breaking all that furniture, she was getting really annoyed. And you could see Dakota Kai was looking and thinking, like, either what is she saying? I can't understand her. Or two, what is her problem? And yeah, I think they will break up. I think, again, they're better as, I think, single. But then saying that, if you break up the Kabuki Warriors, there's not many tag teams around. So, and I think that, again, we spoke earlier, like Kabuki Warriors probably are the only ones that could potentially beat Jade and Bianca. But that was then. We're talking about now. So I think, we will see Damage Control break up within the next, maybe not in the intimate future as well, but I'd say in a couple of months maybe. But again, when it does, they'll do some bangers of the matches between them.
Yeah. And then we moved on. We had Rey Mysterio versus Carlito. It was actually quite a good match, to be fair. Rey attacked Finn, threw him on the announce table. And then we had the Judgment Day come out, LWO, and then we were left with Damian Priest standing strong in the ring. and he was staring down Finn and Carlito mid fist bump. They never actually got there, did they, Tariq? They literally just stared down like, and you could see in Damien's face, like, it's just like, I don't need this.
Yeah, and that's where I mentioned before about where he's coming across as that guy who, like I said, I'm fed up of cleaning up your crap. Where Carlito started with Ray, so he's getting involved. He's getting involved with trying to sort Dom's messes out, and he's like, "I'm not a babysitter. I'm the world champ." So he's getting a bit irate and everything. And I think with it just seems like they're sort of saying that you've got too many people who aren't doing the job. So it was like you could tell the visible frustration from the start with JD losing, with Carlito losing, with Finn Balor looking a bit not as good as he used to. He's thinking Judgment Day without Rhea Ripley. It's just like a mid-table guys. I don't need you. So it just seems like they're going that way with him.
It's just, I think the Judgment Day have kind of, I don't know, they've kind of run their course now. We'll go on to the main event and what's happening with the other guy, the porn star mustache man. But we'll go into him a bit later. We had the Gable stuff now, and it was he was moaning at the Alpha Academy saying that he lost because of them, and it then led into Otis lost to Bronson Reed, which then led into it then led into Chad Gable going to whip Otis like a dog with his belt, and Maxine kind of, stopped him. Tozawa just stood there, what he was doing, and then Sami Zayn come out. It was quite a messy segment, to be fair. Everything was going on in it, and then we got what we got. Craig, what eventually is going to happen? Are they going to have another match, do you reckon, at the next PLE, and that could be the time for Gable to take it, or is Otis going to somehow inject himself into that match as well?
I mean, I think it's possibly building towards an Otis Cable. I did it again. Gable.
We will do it.
It's easy to do it, mate. Come on, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's leading towards them facing off against each other. Just whether it's for the Intercontinental, I don't know. I do think we're going to get Sami and Gable again. I just don't know if Sammy's going to drop it yet or not, though. I mean, I said I would be quite happy with Gable winning it before. I think I would be.
Yeah.
Gable versus Gable is never living that down, are we? Yeah, I wouldn't be upset if he did win it. I think he'd do it justice. I think he'd be a decent sort of heel, sort of in between and a heel champion. But I don't see Sammy dropping it yet. But I do definitely think Otis is turning on Gable sooner rather than later. Definitely.
I don't see that. I don't see it happening. I think what will happen, they'll change, like where Otis won't do anything and he'll keep having that moral dilemma. And what'll happen is they'll have a title match, and that's where the Creed brothers come out, attack Otis, attack Sammy, and become like that Team Angle 2.0. And then Sammy takes over Otis and Maxine and so on and tries to avenge them. I can see there not being a snapping by Otis until then.
But more of just them competing against each other in a match. Yeah.
I mean,
not a bad shout.
It's interesting because we've heard rumours as well that Jack Hager, formerly Jack Swagger, has left. Is AEW is in? Could he return? Maybe join him with Chad as Alpha Academy, that whole American We the People sort of stuff. Could be interesting. Bring him back for one last run. You never know. I'll never forget that promo he did in the ring about his wife. But yeah. But you never know. That's what we said earlier, didn't we? It's a bit, the Intercontinental title's a bit stagnant now, isn't it? With what's going on.
But I mean, it's the same. It's the same with the United States title as well.
Yeah, but I think
both
does well with that though, because he's such a heel.
Yeah.
You know what? To me, I don't know about you guys, how you feel, but I always feel a heel makes a title better.
Yeah.
Do you know, it just, because everyone wants it, because the baddie's got it. Do you know what I mean? Sort of.
Yeah.
But I think Gable needs to win it for it to kind of be up there. But we'll see what happens in the next few weeks. Let's see, Mr. Tom's put here. Otis used to live with Gable in 2014 in NXT days. So there you go. There might be they might go down that route of trying to explain that maybe a bit more. They've got a bit of a story though together. But is that something we want to see? Do you guys want to see Gable and Otis in the Intercontinental title picture?
I think if it's built right, yeah. I think if they build the story right and make us invested, because at the moment we all want to see Otis turn on him. Yeah,
yeah,
all of us do. So if there's us four here that do it, there must be some more people that do. So I think eventually they're building that. So they're making him like he was going to whip him, then he stopped, then he got stopped by someone else. Eventually he's going to do that, and then he's going to turn on him. But that pop when he turns on him is going to be ridiculous. I know everyone's thinking, "Oh, who's Otis?" Whatever, but that pop when he does it, is mental. It's the same with Bron Breakker. I think when he eventually snaps on Adam Pearce, that is going to be ridiculous. But I think, I can see Otis. I can see Otis chair. Oh, I need to call him Zabel then. Jesus Christ. So, but yeah, I can
Triple
see
threat: Zabel versus Cable versus Gable. Yeah.
With Shorty G as ringside.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, we'll be interested to see what happens in the next few weeks. We go on to the main event of the night, which was Liv versus Becky for the World Women's Title inside a steel cage. We had everything, didn't it? We had Dom come down to the ringside. We had Balor and JD come down, then Braun come down. Everybody come down other than Doink the Clown. Becky got hurt and then Liv escaped and then she picked up the win. And I think as she walked up to ringside, it was a scene out of, I know Love Island starts on Monday, but Jesus, they were getting in there early with the recoupling.
I mean, she was.
She was, yeah. Tongues galore. I don't know how Dominic Mysterio's new bride would feel about that, but it'd be interesting to see where this storyline goes. Craig, do you feel this is all like a ploy sort of thing? Is he turning on Mummy?
I don't know. I mean, I think he's showing a bit of restraint at the minute, but I think as it more goes on and on, with, like you said, we talked about the backstage segments, keeping an eye on what's happening in the background. Them two walking out the same changing room or whatever it was a few weeks back on Raw, getting out the same vehicle together on Raw. Is he just putting this all on to make it look like that they were accidents when actually it was all planned? And but the kiss, he didn't look so keen on it. But was that because he was worried in real life what his new bride was thinking, or is it to distract us and think that he's not as into this as Liv is? Dom acting his arse off, not so like a lottery winner after Liv, really. I mean, he done well to compose himself, because I would have been standing at full mast, to be completely honest with you. But
I'm gone when she stares at me, to be fair, so I don't know what he was like.
When she jumped through that middle rope and poses into the camera,
Exactly. Tony, let me put this to you. SummerSlam, Liv versus Rhea Ripley, ladder match for custody of Dominic Mysterio. Is it happening?
I think she'll be back, and I think it will be a stipulation match. I can't see him I shouldn't really say that, but can't see him
hanging it.
Don't want to pull.
Just holding on for dear life for like 40 minutes or whatever.
Doing a Jeff Hardy before he gets speared.
Yeah.
Or do we go even thing where he's a special guest referee?
Ooh.
He's only got one arm at the moment, so.
I mean, I think maybe that. Then we'll see his true colours, maybe. Because I think when Rhea comes back, he's going to have a lot of making up to do to not get his arse whooped.
Yeah, true.
But I mean, that could also be the start of the Judgment Day falling apart.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Rhea comes back. There's cracks. You know, Dom and her, whatever. They seem to break away from everything. Damien, by the looks of it, looks like he's having enough of everything that's going on. I think at some point we're getting Priest Balor.
Yeah.
I think that's happening at some point. So this could just be the start of breaking all that up.
Tariq, what's your thoughts on it?
I sort of think that it's part of it. I sort of think it's going back to the Eddie Guerrero China cheating on him. It just made me think like father, like son. And I just think with it as well, there's a couple of ways they can go. I sort of think that this could be like Liv taking Rhea's place in Judgment Day 2.0 with Priest leaving and then Rhea coming back and being a full-on babyface type thing. And a new Judgment Day where Balor, McDonough, Dom, and Liv are sort of running roughshod for a while because I can't see her losing the title for a while. So it'd be one where they keep the Judgment Day relevant by having a couple of nasty people in it rather than some people who don't really think, right, I can't be arsed with this group.
Yeah.
So keep them relevant up until maybe SummerSlam, Royal Rumble time.
Yeah, could be. Lots of interesting thoughts there. So yeah, that was your Monday Night Raw. Like I say, we didn't do SmackDown because obviously we had King and Queen in the ring. So I'll just run around and grab your predictions. For me, Raw was just a 7. Just got to a 7. I think it's a bit messy in places. A lot of segments. Wasn't, to be fair, when you look at it and the notes, wasn't many matches compared to the previous week. So yeah, I'll give it a 7. Craig?
Yeah, I was going to give it around 6.5, 7, but I know you don't like the half thing, so yeah, I'll go with a 7 as well. I think you're right; it was sloppy in places, a bit messy. Not as many matches as the week before. So yeah, I'll go with a 7.
Cool. Tony?
Yeah, I'm going to go for 7 as well. I think the reason why I give it 7 is watching Strowman run around all night. I think it would have been an 8 if it weren't for that. But yeah, 7.
Cool. And Tariq?
I'm going to be a bit harsh. I'd give it a 6. I think just the Dragunov Ricochet match was the only thing that was half decent. The rest was like a campy comedy sort of one, which the actual fans were a bit silent as well during the whole show, which dragged it down. It didn't feel like it was a really good match. Well, a really good show, really.
Cool. And yeah, just to Mr. Tom, yeah, we did catch that. I don't know if you guys watch NXT. We had quite a bit happen this week. We had TNA Knockouts champ Jordana Grace turn up to challenge.
Yeah, I saw that.
Jade, which is opening up a forbidden door here. We never know. You know, we've heard rumors TKO want TNA. Be very interesting if that was to happen. We also saw the arrival of Ethan Page as well in NXT, which is interesting stuff. We will try and catch and cover NXT. Especially when they've had an event or something comes up, but it's just the time frame, mate. We could be here all night talking about wrestling, as I'm sure we would all enjoy, but our missus wouldn't. So yeah, let's change up this week. Tony, we'll start with you with your news.
So I'm going to start with a story that come out probably a week and a half ago. Because we didn't do a show last week, I've decided to keep this one in. So obviously we've got in 6 months' time, roughly, we've got the new Netflix deal starting with WWE. They've promised that we're going to get some special and unique programming. They've compared it to, I don't know if anyone's watched the Formula One series Dare to Drive. No?
Yeah.
Drive to Shrive, sorry. Shrive. Yeah, but they're doing that. So they do docu-series. They're going to do individual superstars. They're going to do a lot more like what they do at the moment with the 24s and the things like that. But they're going to do their own. So, yeah, that'll be very interesting to see because a lot of the programming they did previously was pretty decent quality. But I think with the Netflix, I think with TKO and everything, they've took it up that notch. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So that'll be good. Next up, we spoke about it briefly a minute ago, but there's going to be plenty more crossovers between TNA and WWE in the next future, because obviously NXT, we said we see Grace appeared there, Ethan Page. So you never know who might appear. If you say his name, he may appear. So yeah.
Oh, no.
Please don't play it again.
Oh, sorry.
Amen. He appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Sorry.
Again, next was this one for Tariq. He's probably done these all on his own, but Cody Rhodes' song Kingdom has now hit 50 million streams on Spotify. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of streams for just one song.
Just a bit.
But yeah, I think Tariq listens to it on the way to work, in the bathroom.
90%
when
were
he
on me.
He was probably listening to it shopping with the missus yesterday.
Definitely.
It's like he gets the missus to play it as he comes in the bedroom in the evening. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so 50 million. That's a lot of streams. So, and to be honest, it is a pretty decent tune. To be honest.
Yeah.
And then lastly, obviously, we'd like to cover a bit of NXT because we don't really review it because again, we haven't got that much time in the day. But it was revealed on this week's episode that they showed the Women's North American Championships. I think it's quite a nice belt. It resembles the men's one. What do you guys think of that?
It's nice.
It's good that they're adding more titles. You know, it's more competition. We've spoken about the women's division before, haven't we? So
yeah,
definitely the right move. Maybe they're doing it on NXT first just to see what sort of reaction they get from it, and then maybe we'll see some on Raw and SmackDown. Maybe.
Yeah, I think they will do that. I think I can see that happening in the near future because we've said it from. I know I said it from the first show we did.
Yeah,
I think a women's mid-card title in the main, well, I say main roster, they're all treated the same, but on Raw or SmackDown, I think that would be great. So yeah, that's the news.
Cool. Wicked. Thank you. Yeah, the NXT title looked good. I loved it as much as Booker T loved Red Sky, and that's saying a lot. Because he would not stop talking about her all night. But
yeah, she tweeted about him as well, didn't she?
Yeah. What's this? Here we go. Mr. Tom here is doing a wrestling show at 10 p.m. And also have a good night, gentlemen. He's off. Thanks again, Mr. Tom.
See you later.
Good luck with your show, mate. It'll be nice one day. Maybe we could do a collab, mix up together, your guys and my guys, have like a quiz off or something. Yeah, it'll be quite interesting. We've got a question from Daz as well. Any news on who Cody faces at Clash? We're unsure at the moment yet, mate. We might find out more tomorrow night on SmackDown.
But I mean, if I had to guess anyone, I'd say
Randy.
I don't know. Yeah, but did they say that for SummerSlam?
Yeah, it's. But then they want the crowds, don't they, for these European PLEs? So with the prices they're charging, you want to see Tamatonga, yeah, Jesus.
I'd have to sell a kidney, I think.
To be fair, I tried to get that clip of Tamatonga doing whatever he does there.
What on earth is that all about?
I don't know what he's on, that guy, but I don't want none of it.
Tasmanian devil or something.
He's a very strange individual. So yeah, that was your news. Thank you, Tony. Craig, let's go into your fact of the week.
Right, so short and sweet one from me this evening. Macho Man Randy Savage lost all 6 of his world titles to the same 2 men. Anyone fancy a guess at who them 2 men were?
Hogan's one.
Who?
Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
The Warrior?
No.
Flair.
Who?
Ric Flair.
Yep.
Mm.
Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. Yep. Short and sweet one from me this evening.
That's all right. Thank you very much for that.
No worries.
Let me just see. Here's a great comment from Mr. Tom as he leaves. Lorraine Kelly to help Cody Rhodes win a Clash of the Clans. And I was a little bit slow as well. Mr. Tom got your fact of the week correct as well.
Oh, nice. Well done, Tom.
So yeah, we've got a couple of minutes. I'll just go through. Yeah, so as we do on here, we do predictions as well for every pay-per-view. And let me see if I've got some music on here. We've got a drum roll. I don't think so. Got a bit of R&B if it plays. No. But yeah, there we go. A bit of a tune in the background. No, there's no drum roll. But yeah, as we do, we have predictions, and the winner was, and still TRT prediction champion is Craig, who is the first ever person to hold the title on 2 predictions. So congratulations.
Is it time to start? Yeah, Tarek's getting a half one off of Tarek. Yeah,
that is very painful from Tariq. You can see the pain in his face.
I will probably never ever repeat that ever again, but I'll certainly take it. I'll certainly.
So you'll hold that now for a couple of weeks until Clash.
Look forward to the WhatsApp group tomorrow with some more edits.
Tariq he can't wait to win it again. He's going to literally make a promo video.
Anyone else can win it apart from Tarek because I'll never live it down.
He's going to make a promo video better than the Austin Rock one at WrestleMania. See if Limp Bizkit's about. But yeah, just so you guys know as well, in the next couple of weeks we're going to be doing a quiz. We're going to move away from some of these review shows and discuss topics like our Mount Rushmores in the WWE. It'd be interesting to get your guys' thoughts and feelings as well in the chat, and whoever's watching back. We currently have nearly over 200 people watching at the moment. So yeah, come and comment, get involved. It'd be interesting to find your thoughts. But yeah, look out for what's coming out on the socials. If you're not, they're scrolling along at the bottom. We need your support, for subscribers. We need to get paid for this. We don't want to do it for free. No, I'm joking.
Don't beat around the bush,
we want to get paid. I've had enough of doing this. I want some money for it.
Exactly.
No, but yeah, you guys, without you guys here watching, there's no point in us doing it. But yeah, we're just a couple of blokes. All of us are pretty much, no, Craig's not there yet. We're all pretty bald. So
three and a bit men.
3 and a bit men.
Four and a bit. Yeah.
Wrestling. We'll be back next Wednesday, with the Drop Zone. We'll review Raw and SmackDown, and then looking after that, we would try and do the quiz. But yeah, what that's left for me to say is thank you very much, everyone. And Craig, thanks a lot for coming on tonight.
No worries, mate. Always a pleasure.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Tony, thank you very much for coming on.
You're welcome. Love it.
Cheers. And Tariq, thank you as well.
Thanks for having me again.
No problem at all. And unfortunately, George had to leave us early. He hasn't dialed up his internet enough this week. So he's now on the treadmill, powering it back up. But yeah, no, thanks a lot, everyone. We'll see you again next week. And stay safe. Bye-bye.